for all the House of Conscious family. I just want to get into uh, something documentary that I'm gonna try and hopefully be able to um, give insight a little bit to it, and or not insight, but hopefully some things that we are aware of. And it's called Vanguard Television, and it's dealing with the guns, these guns that the so-called Americans um, have, and these are dealing with our rights. So, when you watch this documentary, I hope it's an eye opener to what's at stake and what's at store that's coming for us in the near future. The thing that had me most concerned was looking at the women and the children that are using these guns. I like families, white man, white woman, and their babies are going out to gun ranges, firing all types of automatic weapons and stuff, and they're also indiscreetly saying why they're doing this and why they're preparing themselves for this. They also talk about, certain states that have a lot more freedom than some of the states, than some of the other states. They also use terminology or phrases such as, these people, those people. What if those people or these people break into my house, and I have nothing to protect myself, so on and so forth. So, really to me, that just telling me, like, instead of them, they don't want to really come out right, say it, because I guess they know there'll be repercussions, instead of being the true bastards that they are, and just come out and say, yeah, we getting these guns and shit for these damn niggers. Niggers, as they like to call us. Thing about it is that, black men who are currently felons, black men who will possibly become felons. This is for you. The guns and those things are going to be for you. And we already, and as so-called quote criminals, you cannot have guns. You are not able to lawfully have firearms. And that means we don't have a means of defense for ourselves, people. We don't do enough of checking the laws and studying the laws to see that these laws that are made up to protect them and to be against us. We don't a lot of us don't take the time out and really really focus on some of the laws and shit that be passed, We look at it and say, it's a good thing, this law may be able to do this, it may deter some of this, but who is it to be turned to? Who will they have it set out? And in this documentary, they're going to tell you about police, regular police now, are being trained in urban assault. Urban, folks. When they say urban assault, they talk about urban communities or urban neighborhoods. When they say urban, again, that's another damn technological or wordplay or word denoting us, because it's mostly black people who live in urban areas. They classify urban areas as poverty stricken neighborhoods or communities, so forth. So therefore, it's always is more acts of violence than I guess in suburban communities. You see, and it's funny how you have suburb and then you have urban. they have classified the difference. So, you know what I mean? We know what sub means. Sub means, or the submerged means, you know, something to go under, or um, something that merges, you know, or is the basis of the topic, I guess is the right word to say. Uh, but you know, we need to wake up, brothers and sisters. I mean, damn, man, we've been out here debating for damn near 7, 10 years now, and debating and debating and debating and debating. Um, there's two areas that we need to debate. First, let's start debating these educated teachers in the white European school system, as far as education goes, and and um, and you know, if we're going to debate ourselves, then we need to keep it in a form to where it doesn't cause division, because I see a lot of the debates that's going on today is causing divisions. And sister said it on YouTube the other day. You know, somebody may like what this person says, somebody may like the other person, because that's what they want to get involved in, and that's fine and dandy. But we should do that without having to bring it to where we are separating ourselves to the point to where this person is right, that person is wrong, this person is right, that person is wrong. You know what I mean? I mean, we just have to, like I said, you know, white man is sitting back laughing at us, man. He laughing at us so fucking hard that it's pathetic. But I'm going to tell you, when he'll stop laughing. He'll stop laughing when he truly see us not wanting to be part of this matrix system. He'll truly start getting worried when he sees that we ain't no longer taking the handouts that they give us, the breadcrumbs, the crumbs off of the tables, or whatever the fuck, how you want to put it. He gonna stop the fucking smirking, grinning, and laughing at us when he sees that we are mobilizing. We are mobilizing ourselves to be a damn military strategic defense system for black people, or African people. I mean, you know what I mean. I'm sorry, my thought is stuck because I'm starting to get caught up into this word black and certain things where we classify ourselves, because I mean, this is nothing to take away from us black, you know what I mean? But then we have to recognize that black is nothing but a color spectrum. Black was used as a way to describe ourselves, you know, or for a way for them to describe us under a color spectrum. You know, there's nowhere on the planet or wherever you can find and think of what we called ourselves before that. Before all of these titles came before us. Can any of y'all go and ask an elderly person from the original country, what were we calling ourselves before these titles came upon us? I just wanted to get that part of rock, but again, going right back to the gun thing and this documentary that I hope y'all watch, man. Just watch it. You know what I mean? Just watch it and see what your views and viewpoints on it. Because when I see it, to me, it's kind of disturbing. Like you know, I see no black people in those gun ranges. You never see, and they're owned by white people who the land has been passed down to their sons. Now, 2012, we looking at this shit, and the boy that owns the land, it was bought by his grandfather, he said, and now it's passed down to him. And what is it doing? Continue the same cycle to train these Europeans to go out there and fire automatic weapons, get the skill and do training. They even, when you watch this documentary, you will even see they have it where you can actually go into the jungle and they have shit set up to where, you know, targets pop up and you go out there, boom, boom, like being in a jungle environment. I speak on this highly because I had military experience. I was in the military, you know, and this is for brothers who have been in the military and have consciousness coming out of the military to start teaching our people military strategy. military discipline. We need these things. You got to have discipline. You got to start disciplining yourselves on certain things, not certain things, but most things that we don't have any discipline on. And the hardest thing about disciplining black people is they don't like to be told or disciplined on anything after they've had 405 plus years of being told how to do it and what, you know what I mean? So discipline to us is like, man, fuck that. Man, I'm free to do what I want to do. So, you know, when we look at that, man, there's a lot of the shit that's been in the military hasn't left me, you know. It's still embedded in me. And I've been out of the military for 20-something years. I've been out of the military for 20 years. And when I went in the military, I had a consciousness, I had a strong will of pride of me, of who I was, you know. With that pride of knowing who I was then, I'm going to throw this in because I don't want to hopefully seem like a hypocrite. I hopefully don't want to seem like a hypocrite. You know, during that time, even having knowledge of myself in the military, they couldn't break me. But I was also, into a sense, you know, I integrated. But in the military, when I was in there, and I don't know if things have changed, and I seriously doubt that they have, but the brothers stuck together, the Latinos stuck together, the whites stuck together. You're going to see later on a prison documentary that I'm going to record and try to add and advise into it as well. You see the same blueprint, so to speak. Prison, military, prison. Segregation is in there. Now you got, of course, interracial in the military. You have that as well. You got that. Because it all plays in a part of what's going on out here in society. But when you're dealing in a part, when it's military and men have weapons, M16s, grenades and shit like that, you kind of want to keep on your P's and Q's. And there is no other place that we are watched so intense is in the military, because now you got black men in here with guns, you know what I mean? You got Latino in there with guns, you know. So they really make it a point to like make sure, you know what I mean, to watch y'all, to watch you. And if you're one of those rebellious ones, oh, they try to break you. They do their best part to break you so that they can implement the brainwashing on you so that you be a mindless soldier serving Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is the epitome of the European. You see Uncle Sam, it's a cracker with the colors of the red, white, and blue on it. So they're telling you, I mean, do y'all see the damn significance of this shit? Uncle Sam, and motherfuckers being in this country calling it, they're about to go fight for Uncle Sam. That motherfucker ain't no goddamn uncle to you, ain't no goddamn blood relation to you. You see what I'm saying? If anything, he's an Uncle Damn, sent to damn your fucking mind and soul and body, you know. It's just crazy, you know. That we are, again, a lot of y'all have heard this beaten over into our brains over again, you know. But it is time for us to do something instead of sitting on the fence, so to speak. A lot of us sit on the fence on certain things, but we better start preparing ourselves for what's in store, because they know shit's gonna start breaking down economically, money wise. They're gonna start breaking down. You as black folks who spend most of your time hustling the streets, hustling the welfare system, the social security system, all of that shit they're going to stop and cut out. They're going to cut it. And they know and realize that when they cut that shit, they say black folks or us will start looting. And if that is the scenario, these white people are going to sit and protect their homes. That's why they're getting guns. They say gun sales have jumped over, 110%. Supposedly since Obama been in office. But, you know, that's just a polite way to put the blame on some fucking body when, you know, Bush was in office as well. Didn't make the murder rate any less or lower. And before his punk ass father was in office, and it didn't do anything. And when his punk ass was out of office, it was Reagan. It didn't. All of these fucking presidents put shit up to stood up against the black nation from rising. Y'all forget that again. They are looking for the black messiah, the African messiah, whatever you want to call it, not politically correct to y'all mind and frame. They're looking for him. And I think, you don't think the ancestors are not going to raise another one amongst us? And this time I think they have put in a better plan. They're raising not just more, they're raising more than just one to be a Messiah amongst us. They're popping them up in all over the places, and that's why they're trying to kill all these youthful black males. That's why they're trying to stagnate them with the drugs and all of this shit for the ADHD, this and this and that, so they can't recognize their true potential. Cut off their form of communication through our ancestors who communicate to us every day, daily. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to get into a segment on dealing with those on some things too, you know, to get away from this, to hopefully try to enlighten some of us on some things. But anyway, you know, we gotta stop recognizing the motherfucking implementation that they have against us. You know what I mean? It has been long time coming and long time putting for them to wipe out the so-called rights. And it's funny when we talk about rights, we haven't had any rights. You know what I mean? And all of this of what I'm saying basically is a spin-off to this documentary you're gonna be checking out. And I wanted to get one more point out, you know, before I leave off here and go and start running the documentary. It's that you know, I think we are so damn relaxed that right now we don't think anything can happen. We don't think we done struggled enough for it. You know what I mean? We done struggled, and we still struggling every day. We are making a struggle. We are going through the sacrifices, and yet other people of other nationality are benefiting from it. And it's time to stop. Like I said, as you're gonna watch this documentary, you know, these white people, man, are not bullshitting. I mean, they got high-tech weapons, and they are saying now that gang members or criminals, the criminal element, are getting these guns and weapons into their hands now. And when they say that, people, they're going into black neighborhoods. They're talking about the gangs. And let me say, for the gang members and the gang bangers, see, they keep putting in the media this negativity that y'all just doing this shit for drug activity and this and this and that. Some of y'all are. Some of y'all are. But for the most part, like the spook who sat by the door, these gang members are preparing themselves. They are getting a defense system for themselves. You better remember what I said about that military. Since 2006, gang members have been joining the Army, going into the military, whether it be the Marines, the Army, the Navy SEALs, getting this training. And they're bringing their activity or the active ways into the military. They have interviewed some of the gang members who have gotten military training. And it is causing a thorn in the police because now these guys are not just gang members firing off a gun. They have strategic military missionized plans when they start to execute their movement. And the police, Babylon, have found it hard to deal with them because now they have military training. And see, the thing about that is, hey, one time your ass couldn't get into the military, you know, see. if you had a criminal record, criminal background. So now they're recruiting because they need to keep this war going. But at the same time, how do you say, they're like creating the Frankenstein. Everywhere they go, the government, the fucked up system that they set up, ends up creating some type of Frankenstein monster because it's supposed to be for the better or for the good, and then it turns out being for the fucking worse. It is time, nation of indigenous or original men, to step up and stop taking control of themselves. You know, black men are getting arrested for doing what it is to take and put food on the plate, on the table, or on the plate, and this and that. Then so be it. But we have to create a way. You know what I mean? We have to create a way. Again, because like I said, you know, shit is gonna get fucking rough out here. And when you see the documentary and you seeing some of these guns that are in the hands of some of the brothers that's on the street, and I'm talking about these brothers on the streets who are using these type of weapons, who have no malice for life or no care or for life. I mean, some of our innocent babies and children are getting hit in the crossfire by this shit. And the stupid bullshit. I don't advocate that. I advocate that if we die and it's a collateral damage, it is because that's what happens in the event of war and the event of struggling. But, you know, when you over here just killing for fucking drug turf, street turf, shit that you own but really don't own yet because the white man occupies that shit, and he'll tell you to get the fuck off the corner, don't hang around at the store, and all of that shit. You know what I mean? Y'all better really, fucking, man, I just say this. Watch the documentary yourselves, and then, y'all decide, and please, man, you're gonna better start doing something, making it around, because part of the clip shows them in New Jersey, and in Jersey, they go to one house, and then they go 100 feet next to the next house. Like, wow, like this is an epidemic. And, you know, they when they do their raids and shit, they do them since like 4, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning because they know y'all asses are sleeping. They know your asses are sleeping. And what's interesting about that is because, like I said, with my military experience, I still get up at 4:30 in the morning. 20 years later, that shit is still clicked in me that I wake up at 4:30. That's the time they had to wake us up in the military. And for y'all who don't know, when a person or us as individuals that were in the military, they wake up at 4:30. They do more. I've done more things in 4 hours than it took y'all to get up an hour before to get ready for work. You follow? So in those 4 hours, when we wake up at 4:30, and not to mention through the night, you got to do 2-hour and hour shifts through the night. So you may get to sleep at 9 o'clock. Somebody's waking you up 2 hours later because you got to go out there and do guard duty for 2 hours. Guard duty for 2 hours, and fire duty for 1 hour. Fire duty is that you just sit in the hall, make sure nobody's smoking, and shit, a fire don't break out. So they have somebody sitting every hour to make sure a fucking fire don't burn down the building. See, that's the discipline. That's small shit. So now again, at 4:30, we get up. Now everybody is up. 50 men in a platoon. 4 platoons. You see? So that's 200 men. Split up into companies. And we rise up, and we have to have the whole building. When we're talking about a 200, let me see, you're talking about over 150 rooms, compartments, latrine is bathroom. All of these things that we had to do and clean before going down for PT. So we had to get up, wash, brush, put your PT shit, get outside, do that, get back in, clean the barrack up, have your bed and bunks, all that shit made, shoes and boots polished, lockers clean, all of that. And then back down for formation by 10 minutes, 0650 hours. AM. Well, you know, you get what I'm saying. So, you know, that's why when I look at this documentary, and I'm saying they're not even in the military, they're just out there preparing, training, shooting, and you're gonna see it in the documentary. 9-year-olds out there firing guns bigger than them, and they handling and shit. Women hitting targets like bang, 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 bang. You see? So just please watch this, man, and just hopefully just put in your mind to let you know exactly what's going on out there, and then hopefully as well,
there's anything you want here.
Knob Creek, the country's biggest machine gun shoot. It's kind of like a festival celebrating gun ownership. Guns, a controversial issue in American politics and society for sure. But here, the sentiment is clear. Guns are a way of life, and we came to check out the lifestyle.
What you see right here next to me is pretty rare. You won't find this at a lot of places in the country, but here, just outside of Louisville, Kentucky, has some of the least restrictive gun laws in the nation. So machine gun enthusiasts get together here to fire off basically about anything you can think of.
Getting up on the firing line, in my opinion, it's like the ultimate treat. I'm in the gun business 24/7. Coming here, there's no other way to describe it. That's awesome. I'm originally from New York City, where you can't do anything. I mean, you can't own a slingshot or a water pistol unless it's orange. And we ended up moving out to Pennsylvania to get away from that. And even that state, which is a fairly free state, you can shoot, but you can't shoot like you can shoot here in West Point, Kentucky.
Jack, how old are you? 9. 9? And how long have you been shooting the 50 cal?
Probably about 3 times I've come up here. My mom and my grandfather.
Where's your grandpa?
Right here.
For you, there's value in bringing your grandson out and teaching him about guns and teaching him to shoot.
You know, kids that fool around out here with these things, you don't have any trouble out of them. They got all aggression already out of their system.
After talking with some of the patrons of the show, I went to talk to Chad Sumner, the 3rd-generation owner of the Knob Creek gun range.
So, tell me about the history of this event. Tell me about Knob Creek. Well, Knob Creek, my grandpa bought this from Naval Ordnance. Naval Ordnance was the naval test range, 5-inch. The big gun, you know, big naval gun. They did shoot 15-inch guns here. Now we're to this. 15,000 people, a whole firing line, full of machine guns. So who are these guys? Who are your patrons? They're gun enthusiasts, they're collectors, lawyers, just, you know, hobbyists. It's not cheap, you know. It's not cheap to have this hobby. Yeah, tell me about that. You were telling me that there's a gun out here that's worth 75 grand. Yeah, 75 grand, you know. Belfit 50 right there, almost 60 now. In 60, 30,000. My favorite would probably be the minigun. You know what's so crazy about this? You got what?
Bible verse conservatism and guns are a tradition that are passed down from generation to generation.
A lot of people don't realize that it was guns that helped us keep our country the way it is. If you take our guns away and nobody, like all these law-abiding citizens don't have any guns, well, who's the only ones going to have? You got cops and robbers. So what good does that do? It's you know, well, what if they break in my house? So good, I'm dead. You know, I didn't have nothing to protect myself. I gotta tell you, like, I shot a lot of things. I shot an 84mm howitzer, a 50 cal sniper rifle. I just shot a Gatling gun. It's cool. So you like shooting? And what do you think about girls shooting?
I think all the at least try it once.
Like they do food. useful machine right here. So now we're going to go look at the results of what thousands of rounds of lead downrange does. These are just like old, like, propane tanks or helium tanks or something. They're just like, I'm shocked to shit. They want to see their canvas when they're done. Like, these are professionals, right? They want to see their masterpiece when it's over. This is their canvas that these dudes paint on. These guys do this.
Come on over here. Single fire and say,
They just came out for this shit.
yeah, we've been coming down here for a few years. I haven't missed it in 17 years.
You guys excited?
Yeah.
You amped?
We got full auto at home, so we kind of play around with it on our. We got a little mini range behind our house. We shoot things like that. So the only thing we don't have is a flamethrower. We don't have flamethrowers.
There's always Christmas.
One of the most popular items to shoot at the show wasn't even a gun. It was a flamethrower fueled by napalm.
Like, what do you use a flamethrower for tactically?
Historically, they were used to rout the enemy from fortified positions. In the Pacific, primarily, the use of the flamethrower was not necessarily to just burn the enemy. It was more or less to rout them from their fortifications by asphyxiation. Would you like to try?
I'm down. I'm getting dressed in this space gear right now.
Feel a little ridiculous. All right.
Okay, I'm gonna set it down in your back. I got your back, buddy. Don't worry. We're right behind you. You're little twin shooters.
This is your ignition system.
Yep. That's what you want here.
The reason you want it on the side is see the napalm. It's not semi-solid.
Yeah, sticky, gooey.
Yeah.
And if you stop firing, there'll be some unburnt residue in here. You want to squeeze it hard and deliberately.
It was incredible. I don't know about standing with the napalm tank in the middle of the burning fire, but I guess it's empty.
I spent 3 days in Knob Creek, seen everything shot from 9mm to 50-cal machine guns. Literally, the sky's the limit here. But that certainly begs the question, what is the limit?
Do you know why this place is wild? It's because every time you think you've seen it all, then some dude shows up with his own tank, starts blasting away.
For the man who wants to take his neighborhood watch to the next level. We take it serious in our neighborhood.
Most people don't know you can even own one of these guns. And hopefully we can educate them saying, you can own that. You know, you just gotta fly straight and narrow.
As I got ready for the night shoot, the grand finale of this event, I thought about the role of guns in America. Regardless of how you feel about them, they are a part of the fabric of American society. As our time in Knob Creek ended, I was able to put aside the controversy for a second and enjoy Knob Creek's homage to what they consider an integral part of the American idea. Coming up next, we look at a different side of gun culture in America. If they don't ask for soon enough, they'll bring the ram and they'll just kick the door down.
Over your head.
Open the front door. Black vehicle,
I've just come into the evidence vault in the Camden Police Department. We're here just to show you the kind of stuff that's been taken off the streets in Camden, of illegal guns that make their way onto the streets of American cities. One of those cities plagued by gun violence is Camden, New Jersey. A stone's throw across the river from downtown Philadelphia, in 2005 and 2006, Camden was rated the most dangerous city in America. It's a city suffering from crime, much of it gun-related. One of the highest per capita murder rates, thousands of guns seized each year, and gun-related crime make it the perfect place to look at another side of American gun culture. My vessel for exploring Camden, the U.S. Marshal Service. Marshals are one of the most elite law enforcement agencies in the world. They set up a special task force to deal with the particular cauldron that is Camden. The Marshals agreed to be my eyes and my ears for checking out the streets of Camden. They took me into their world, where guns are an everyday reality.
Lenny DePaul, I'm the commander of the New York, New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force.
I'm Bill Flitt. I'm the Deputy Commander of the United States Marshals, New York, New Jersey Regional Task Force.
Can you guys just give me some background on the Marshal Service?
The Marshal Service, being the oldest federal law enforcement agency, 1789, we do a variety of law enforcement. We have a witness protection program, prisoner transport, judicial protection assignments, and so on. Specific regional fugitive task force, we target the more dangerous, violent, felony fugitives throughout the country.
Whether it be a homicide, a shooting, rape, whatever the case is turned over to us, we're batting 1,000 so far.
It's a rock over 223. One out of Kansas City for ag assault, teaching welfare of a child. He hit the beat for a girl on the 1800 block of South 8th, grabbed her by the neck, started choking her. Went by the house, fire department this morning, car registered is parked out there. We got two guys out now sitting on the car, make sure it doesn't leave.
All right, so this morning they're doing a big sweep of, they're going to try and pick up 7 or 8 guys. They're going to hit 7 or 8 houses. What they do is everybody gets together. In the morning they do a quick brief, but it's like down and dirty. Here's the house, here's how we're going in. Like, let's go grab the guy. Because of the nature of violence in Camden, like, when they go, they come with a big footprint, which is like 14 guys, the shields, the dogs, right? Whole caravan of cars. That's what we're doing this morning. If they don't answer soon enough, they'll bring the ram, they'll just kick the door down because this is the primary residence in the suspect.
Right there. Show me your hand. Step back. Show me your hand.
Barry's in Florida, got a location where the guy was laying his head last night. So right now we're about to go make entry on the house. The owner of the house also has some warrants, so it gives us a right to gain entry anyway, whether they consent to entry or forced entry. Here we go.
They did the same thing last week, different house. I had an AK-47, right? So because of the kind of firepower that they're seeing on the streets of Camden, right, they can't afford to take any chances. That's why you see them geared up, going in, fully prepared as if anything could happen.
Police, come to the front door. Come to the front door.
It's a bummer to see these guys, like, go into this house at, early in the morning, try and pull this guy out, and, like, first, like, 3 people that we've seen come out are, like, kid going to school, like, little 6-year-old kid. Sucks. We continued an entire morning nabbing suspects with the marshals. We went on 7 raids, arrested 4 suspects, 2 of them for assaults that involved weapons. But despite the arrest, it felt a little bit like digging a hole in water. You take one suspect or one gun off the street, but it just seems like there's another one rushing in to fill the void. So I went to talk to some of the local community groups to find out how this panorama of guns and violence is brutalizing Camden.
I know these youngsters, they're not getting the guns from Camden. Okay? They're getting it from Philadelphia. I don't know how they're bringing them over here, but that's a big problem.
Well, does it really matter where the guns are coming from? Like, the bottom line is people are getting shot, right?
People are getting shot, but in the state of New Jersey, the gun laws are much stricter than they are in Pennsylvania. And you have the accessibility of getting a gun right over the bridge. You know, logistically, Camden sits right on the border of Philadelphia. So while, you know, the guns may not be the biggest problem, the fact that they're much harder to get in New Jersey, but yet you can go 5 minutes across the bridge and have a, you know, straw purchase or buy a gun and bring it back and sell it to a 15-year-old on our street, that's a problem. That's a big problem.
So we went 5 minutes across the bridge to Philadelphia to talk to a gun dealer who's been heavily criticized because of the high number of straw purchases coming out of his shop. Straw purchases are like the shoulder tapping of gun buying. Someone buys a gun legally, then passes it on to someone else illegally. Calissimo's, a longtime Philadelphia gun shop, was once ranked by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms as one of the worst places for straw purchasing in the country. Hey, how you doing, man?
How's it going?
This is the famous Calissimo's?
It is.
All right. Can I see one of the HKs?
Woo-hoo!
How much is this run?
$8.95.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. You take this one off the rack?
Yeah. Target gun.
What's this? Shooting at 223?
This is the shooting targets.
I've been in business 57 years. My family has been in this business going back, I think, to 1917.
Where do those guns that are being used in crimes in, take Camden again, for example, where do those guns come from?
Stolen guns. Not from a legitimate gun dealer. They do not come from a legitimate gun dealer.
At some point, though, they start from a legitimate gun dealer. They originate.
They originate, but after they're stolen, they're not legitimate guns. They're stolen guns.
Is there an issue if somebody buys a gun who clears legally, and then, let's suppose they then give that gun to someone else?
Well, then that's the person that's violating the law. I mean, not the dealer.
Do you, as a gun shop dealer, as the owner of a gun shop, bear any responsibility for those guns that end up on the street?
No, I don't. And I don't feel the least bit guilty about those guns because I did not put them on the street. Because the guns that I sold were sold legitimately. These were guns that were either stolen or sold by the individuals. No, I do not. And I don't think any other dealer feels that he bears any responsibility for it. See, they're trying to legislate on guns, right? It's not the guns. It's the people that use them. Guns do not kill people. It's people kill people.
Well, actually, Mr. Calissimo, it's bullets that kill people. So next stop, Cooper General Hospital in central Camden to see quite literally the impact of a bullet on the body. Meet Dr. Ross, 20-year veteran of trauma surgery at Cooper General. In Camden, he's considered the guru of gunshot wounds. So when a bullet actually enters the body, what's going on? What's causing the damage?
Well, there's direct physical damage to the tissues just by the bullet entering, causing cutting forces. But because a bullet carries a lot of kinetic energy, the energy from the load exploding,
it causes a shock wave through the tissues, and a higher energy missile, either one that's fairly large, like, talk about 45 caliber or something like that, or something high velocity, like either a deer rifle or a military rifle, causes damage by an expanding shock wave through the tissue. So the injury isn't always as apparent with a high velocity weapon, and the kind of things they're seeing in Iraq now as with most civilian weapons. On the other hand, we still see people who are shot with high velocity weapons here, since military weapons tend to creep into the inner city, and deer rifles are, like a 30-06 is a high velocity weapon. Assault weapons are indeed showing up on the streets. Exhibit A, the evidence room. All right, so what's happening now is I've just come into the evidence vault of the Camden Police Department, and we're looking at a series of guns that have been confiscated, basically, and we're here just to show you the kind of stuff that's been taken off the streets in Camden, to give you an idea of, one, the proliferation of guns in Camden, and two, the type of stuff that, the people, cops, the police can all be up against. And as you can see, like, there's hundreds of guns here. You saw when we went out this morning on the raids, everybody's geared up, right, and they go in with a pretty heavy force posture, right? This is the reason. It's because welcome to the Camden evidence locker. Tons of guns everywhere. This is a Thompson submachine gun. Right here, bolt action 30-06. Double barrel shotgun. And the hits just keep on rolling. This is an SKS. Here's another AK right here. This has been the fuel and the fire for wars in Eastern Europe, Africa, South America, and just the standard classic revolutionary. Look how many countries around the world, like they're African countries that have the AK-47 on their flag, right? Serious assault rifle. This right here is going to kill any cop that it goes up against, or it's going to at least pierce his vest. This is really dangerous. So this is an M16 or an AR-15. It's standard issue to the Marine Corps and the Army. Bottom line, this is an assault rifle. Fires a high velocity bullet. This armor can withstand one shot only. These usually have 30-round magazines in them. That is really intense that you guys are pulling these kind of things off the street.
It's changed out there. We're playing hardball. We try to stay ahead of the curve with the firepower that we see.
Because of the types of weapons available, the law enforcement agencies have been forced to increase their firepower as well. So this is creating a virtual arms race in the streets. The marshals have adopted new weapons and new tactics to counter the growing threat. All right, okay, so tools of the trade, right? You want to take us through them?
That's our duty issue weapon for the whole service. That's a Glock 40 caliber. Next is our taser. That's our less lethal. Next is our UMP HK UMP 40 submachine gun. I can drive with it in my lab. Perfect for entry in small urban environments. Our shotgun, 12 gauge, and real effective tool. When people see that coming, hear you racking around it. We don't prefer to play it. We prefer to.
So this is military-grade hardware, and you're telling me that there's military-grade hardware or military-like hardware out there on the streets as well. So, like, what are the consequences, right? I mean, that's a lot of lead that's flying in different directions. It's not always hitting its target, right?
Well, the consequences are I'm trained fully to use these weapons, and they're not. And as you see, innocent people pay the price for that. We're not a SWAT team, but we train like a SWAT team. We bring professionals to us to train us like a SWAT team. Because we do as many high-risk entries as any SWAT team in this country. We do it every day. So we try to prepare as every entry is the most dangerous entry.
it's changed out there, and we're playing hardball. We try to stay ahead of the curve with firepower that we see, AK-47s, the automatic weapons. You have to stay ahead of the curve. No sense in bringing a knife to a gunfight. So we need to be prepared, and that's how we do it.
Try to use the element of surprise to our advantage. That's the one advantage we do have.
Before that one even simmers down, we're walking about, I don't know, say 60, maybe 100 feet down the street, and we're going to do another one to the next.
We don't adopt cases. We work cases with other agencies. They solve their own cases. We look for their people. Because you get a shooting here today in Camden, okay, and they get a known doer on that shooting. Well, then we go try to look for that doer.
I got real quick.
He is wanted on a FTA warrant out of U.S. District Court here in Camden for a bank robbery. Also, weapon in that house, maybe. Do we just did shield up, helmet's on, bring up the breaching equipment.
We professionalize fugitive hunting in the Marshal Service. This is our art. It's a skill. And departments get on board, they start seeing that. And then their people get trained as better investigators. You have to be a good interviewer. You have to have good tactics on the street. You're almost like a street cop. And then you have to be a great investigator. You know, you got to think outside the box, how to catch these people.
The gangs control the flow of guns in Camden, so we went a little deeper into the gang world.
Hey, how are you?
How are you doing?
Carl Marson. Nice to meet you.
Marshall Martin, Camden Police.
Great to meet you. What gangs are present here that you're concerned about?
Well, we're concerned about all of them, but our biggest ones that we're looking at is our sex, money, murder, bloods, the G-Shine Bloods, Two Town Brims, the 9-3 Headbusters. You know, we have them all here, and pretty much they're all getting along so far. You know, unless there's a shortage of drugs, then everybody wants to start taking over each other's sex.
You grew up here. Is that, does it bug you driving around in Senior City like this?
I remember he's got a shotgun.
Vehicle stop. They just committed something over off of Magnolia and Park. Black vehicle heading towards Robert Avenue. Has a shotgun in the vehicle. We're heading towards Park. Turn left. There's a vehicle right there, Rolando.
With the help of the local Camden PD, we finally arrested the guy in the car. Ironically, it turns out that he was actually a local store owner who had just been robbed and was after the robber. There's always something going down. In Camden, the good guys and the bad guys have guns.
I'm a senior patrol officer in Camden. I'm in charge of supervising gang members. The sock cap and the orange bandana represent a particular set of the Crips street gang. The sock stands for slobs on execution. Slob is a derogatory term that the Crips use to refer to the blood.
What exactly is this?
This represents an officer's handbook. I believe
An officer, you mean a gang officer's handbook?
Yes, because in this particular organization, as in pretty much all of the organizations, they have a leadership structure.
Maybe they have a progress report. If members are under 18, please attach their progress reports cards to the back of this report.
Very often, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing in their gang, they will conduct beating on site or termination on site.
Wait, did you say termination on site?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
They're going to kill you if you don't do what you're supposed to do.
I think traditionally there's been more African American gangs here, but I think what you see is a shifting of the gang demographic, and it's pretty obvious that the Latin gangs are here in full force as well. Chiapas, right? If you look at all the violence right now in Mexico, it's all going down in Chiapas. Nica, Nicaragua, Huerta 13, Death 13. Finally, we went to talk to someone who's trying to remedy crime by getting guns off the street through a variety of policy initiatives and buyback programs. Brian Miller, Executive Director, Ceasefire. Can you tell me how you came to Ceasefire?
In November 1994, I got a call one evening that our only brother, FBI Special Agent Mike Miller, had been shot and killed earlier that day. The shooter went into D.C. Police Headquarters carrying a MAC-10 32 bullet clip, opened a door and started firing. Honor my brother every day, and it's just the work feels great.
Camden's a city that's plagued by gun violence. Is that fair to say?
That's very fair to say. It's absolutely devastated by gun violence.
What's the mechanism for that? Where are those guns coming from? Who's using them? Paint me a picture of Camden.
Well, Camden's got a horrible problem with poverty, no jobs, no industry to speak of, 80,000 people in a crumbling infrastructure right across the city from a relatively vibrant major metropolitan metropolis. It's about drugs, and it's about territory, and it's about guns. They had to have purchased the gun from a street seller who somehow illegally acquired the weapon.
Those guns are ending up on the street. Is it common that we see guns purchased over there in Philly used in crimes here in Camden?
All the time. All the time.
So this is not theory, this is actually happening.
Right.
How easy is it for a young person here to get a gun on the street?
If you can't get a gun in 10 minutes, you can't.
You're not trying?
You're asleep. I've always believed that there are just too many guns in American society, and with all those guns, they end up being used, and a lot of people get shot and killed.
There's over 200 million guns in circulation in this country, and as many as 40% of American households report that they keep a gun in the home. Is this the way it was meant to be? As I walked among the statues of the signers of the Constitution and read the text of the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I reflected on the two Americas I had seen, one where liberty and the pursuit of happiness meant the right to bear arms, and another where bearing arms means depriving someone else of liberty and life. How do we reconcile these two halves? Guns, without a doubt, contribute to violence in the United States. But who's responsible? These guys? The sport hobbyist? The gangster? The dealer who claims the law protects him from the consequences of his action? The straw purchaser? The manufacturer? It's hard to know where responsibility lies in a chain of events. Ultimately, for better or for worse, the slice of the country we saw is comprised of two cultures, both that worship their guns. Together, they constitute one nation under gun. Fully automatic America.
Alright, brothers and sisters, that concludes the documentary that you just watched. So, I hope that was enlightening to y'all. And it should make us really want to look at our situation. And really look at what's in store. So, with that was actually, yeah, you may be able to find the full thing on internet. It's Vanguard TV, and the documentary is called Guns in America. If you want to really see it, get a real full insight on it, you know, that's just in case this didn't serve justice. But I felt with something like this, it was better to kind of have an analytic discussion about, you know, situation and then just being a documentary, because in the documentary, to me, it's biased. So as again I said, I hope y'all enjoyed the documentary and stay tuned for the next one. Peace, and we out.